tell you, the feminization of the world is absolutely destructive to the Western world because there's never been a successful matriarchy in the history of humanity.
No, not true. What about England?
Queen
Victoria.
Having a female in charge is different than a matriarchy. When I talk about matriarchy, I mean on average in the household, the man was in charge. On average, men were in charge of the society on average. You could have a female head of state, but on average, it was the men who were ruling society. The men were in charge of
working and providing. Women
the women were listening to the
men.
men on average.
Right.
That's my point, on average, right? So I've had this argument with a feminist before. She's like, oh, well, we've never tried matriarchies. We've only tried patriarchies, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, bitch. I said, yes, they have been tried. But the problem is this. The problem is this.
Yeah.
The closer you are to the base level of survival, the more people naturally revert to their gender roles. If we were all, if 10 men and 10 women were on a boat and they got shipwrecked, the men would instantly start shelter, fire, hunting, and the women would start doing the women things. When you get rid of all the crap and all the society and all the programming, people will revert to their gender roles. The reason we do that is because it gives us the best possible chance of survival. That's why in poor countries where survival is harder, people are closer to their natural gender roles.
Totally.
Right? Totally. So that makes sense as a whole. So this feminist is saying to me, oh yeah, but we've never tried a matriarchy. I said, no, I'm sure it's been tried. The problem is it's very, very difficult to survive under a matriarchy. It's not the natural gender roles. And the matriarchies that did exist in humanity, I'm sure they existed. The reason we don't discuss them is they never even got a chance to create any history because they were fucking decimated by the patriarchies. There is no, what is the statistical odds? Someone at home, some feminist, if you can do some fucking math, you bimbo, work this out. What are the odds of every single society since the dawn of human time all across the planet being run by men? All of them. This is not an idea that could have spread. You had the Aztecs and the Mao dynasty. They didn't fucking talk. This is every single civilization that we can ever possibly name or discover, men were in charge. The reason for that is because all the ones where women were in charge got fucking wiped out because they're not competitive. So what happens is, and they lose to patriarchies. So what's going to happen here as we become feminized, as the Western world becomes a matriarchy, as women get more and more influence and power, feminists are fucking walking down the street saying we want the same rights as men. You have more rights than men. There's not a single thing a man can do a woman can't do, but you have a whole bunch of laws in your favor. You have more rights than men already. What the fuck are you talking about? And then they say they want to be respected for their ideas, and they get their tits out because nobody gives a shit unless they're naked. So they're fucking dumb. The whole point is that the matriarchy that we are creating in the West is no longer going to be competitive in the long run. We are not going to be competitive. And I'm not going to say what the competition is, but whatever the competition is, if men retain control, we are going to fucking lose. The world is cyclical. I live in Eastern Europe now, right? Eastern Europe, 20, 30 years ago, shithole. Now, it's the best place on the planet. California, 20, 30 years ago, best place on the planet. Now, shithole. It just takes a long time for reputations to catch up. People are talking about California because they think it's like the 90s. Yeah, Baywatch, cool. That's gone.
That's gone.
It's Crack Watch. Homeless Watch. That's all they got over there now. So as the world catches up and as things change, any society that retains its patriarchal roots, it's going to outcompete the West. I really do think that the Western world, along with America, is fucking finished. And I think if you have half a brain as a man here in the Western world, you need to get some money. I'll teach you in Hustlers University. Get in a society that understands that, and we teach you how to prepare for it. I'm not trying to change it. I'm just trying to make the smartest move on the chessboard.
All right.
Pretty good stuff.
I'm, Hungarian citizenship. Let's go.
Let's go. I'll see you in Budapest. That's the capital of chess, Budapest.
I've been here for so long that I went to California last week, and I walked into a place to get a sandwich, and I walked in, and the lady goes, "Do you have a mask?" And I thought that was already done.
In California?
In California, yeah. And they go, "Do you have a mask?" And I was like, "No," because I'm used to here.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Can you get one?" And I was like, "From where?" And she goes, "Like from your car?" And I was like, "I don't have one there either." And she was like, and I go, "Well, I just want to order a sandwich." And she was like, "But you don't have a mask on." And I'm like, "Is that still a thing?" I honestly didn't know.
Yeah, it still is.
And another guy goes, "I have one in my car." And I was like, "Will you give it to me?" And he goes, "Yeah. I got a fresh one for you." So I go out and I get it and I put it on, and then I come back in, and then the guy there goes, "You don't have to wear a mask." And I was like, "What?" So I don't know. It's just like it's mixed messages. It's weird.
It's more than weird. It's testament to the slave mind in so many ways. But I'll give you a perfect example of testament to the slave mind. When I get forced to put a mask on, I put it on my chin, and nobody says anything. They don't give a shit about they just hang it down here. Yeah. They don't give a fuck about the mask. They just want to see you comply. I'm complying. I'm a slave. You must be a slave with me. I don't want to see your free spirit and your rebellion.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about the actual safety of COVID. They don't give a fuck about your breathing. They just want to see you comply. Another thing that's always been remarkable to me, and maybe it's because I've never had that matrix mindset, is if I was working a normal job, right? Let's say I worked in a sandwich store, and I'm not shitting on the average guy who does average work. I'm not doing that at all. Any work is respectable, and it's hard out here to make. I don't give a fuck if you carry garbage. It's hard to make money. But if I was working a normal job, as much as I would do my job to the best of my ability, I'd also be very, very understanding of the fact that my job doesn't give a fuck about me. They don't care about me. They never will. If they have to sack me or fire me to keep their business functioning, that's exactly what they're going to do, and they're going to let me starve. So if I was working in a sandwich store and someone came without a mask, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck do you care?
Here's why it's bullshit, though. Because here's the thing. I'm not I'm pro-science, and I believe in, whatever, like, medicine tells us to do. But here's the inconsistency, the bullshit of masks, is that, even on a flight, right, you have to wear them. And then they're like, you can take it off to eat and drink.
Yeah.
So, like, you can take it off.
It's social conditioning.
It is. We went to a show yesterday, and when you get there, they're like, because we walk in like this, and they have a little bag with masks. Like, you grab a mask. I'm like, okay. So I grab a mask, I put it on. We walk in the lobby. Everyone has masks on, and then you sit in your seat, and they're like, you can take your mask off now.
So then for 10 feet,
but you're around everybody that was in the lobby, and they're sitting next to you now.
But so it
doesn't make any sense.
They are conditioning you to blindly comply. It doesn't need to make sense.
It starts in school. Sit at the desk.
Blindly
7:45. You're out by 3. No. It's docile bodies from the minute